Hello, everybody, and welcome. It's absolutely a pleasure to have the lovely Jane Foster with us today, and I just it's very special because it's obviously we did Ellie last week. Jane is another one of the special people that made it into one of the 23 that made it into my book for reasons other than weight loss, actually. It's Jane's got a story that so many people will relate to, and she's gone from feeling totally out of control to of her food and her health. Actually, your health was such a big, terrible in such a terrible mess. Um, to transforming her mindset, habits, and your life. Actually, the medication stuff and everything. It's so exciting, and it just it. For me, this is what makes my heart sing. It's why I do what I do. When I when I hear stories, see Jane, and the transformation that's happened, it's why I do what I do and why I've been doing it for 15 years. But Jane, let's start at the beginning. Can you? Just take us. I'm gonna transport you back in time to just before you found Slim Pod and what daily life was like for you. I mean, you've spoken really, really honestly about how food felt like a punishment rather than nourishment. Um, and for anybody who doesn't know Jane, I think the best thing for you to do just in a minute, before we get, yes, indeed, I'm minute, um, before we get stuck in, is for you just to give a very potted version of what your health problems and the size you were and where you are now.
Oh, okay. Was size 24, had fatty liver, diabetes type 2, my blood pressure was much higher. Was on steroids because I have a autoimmune illness. Hasn't gone away, but the steroids have gone away. Unfortunately, mine doesn't seem to be going away like other people's does. But yeah, I sort of size 24, now I'm a size 16. I don't have diabetes anymore. My blood sugar is completely normal, not even pre-diabetic anymore. I spent years previously being pre-diabetic and getting nagged at, and then I went into diabetic for a year, and now I'm completely back over there. My liver is completely healthy again, so that is all down to Slim Pod, and yeah,
How much weight have you lost? Just as a sideshow.
6 stone about because I haven't actually weighed myself for about 6 months, even for medical reasons. So I don't know.
How long have you been on the program?
2 years nearly, about a couple of months off 2 years.
Right. Look at that. That's just stunning.
Mm.
It's just the healthy stuff that I just love. So amazing. So look, now I'm going to get you to start at the beginning. You've spoken really honestly, in the past, as I said, about using food as a bit of a self-punishment tool. Just share what was going on beneath the surface at that time. The emotion,
I
the
felt
emotions.
very unworthy. I had such a low self-esteem. I just felt so rubbish. I was rubbish. I wasn't in control of anything. I couldn't handle anything. I've got awful bad, and I still cry all the time. If something angs me, I cry. But I saw that was really, really bad before. Now I just don't think it's bad. But if anything upsets me, I just think I wasn't worth it. And I did punish myself very badly with food because I wasn't worth it. And food was definitely a way of self-abuse for me. That was my way. Food and drink, too much alcohol, too much food, and I felt, definitely a form of I punished myself by eating. I wasn't worthy. Nobody loved me. I wasn't lovable. I was such a horrible person. I really did feel all this. So I haven't got any tissues, but never mind.
Oh,
But no, I didn't feel like I was a good person at all, and I didn't have anybody who cared for me, uh, and things, which really isn't true. But at the time, that's what I felt. So I would sit in the car park and have whatever cake, have a pack of cakes, or a Victoria sandwich, or chocolate bars. Oh gosh, the food I used to eat. I must have had regularly 5 or 6 chocolate bars a day. I used to shove food down. It was horrible. The food I ate, yeah. In the summer, I'd have like 3 Magnums in one day. I know. I haven't had one for ages. It must be 18 months since I've had one. I just don't fancy one. They're not very nice anymore. They've got chocolate and I don't like chocolate. But yeah,
well, yeah. At the time, at the time, did you was it that you felt stuck? What was going on in your head? I mean, you'd got to a certain size, hadn't you? And
mm,
did you feel
I,
stuck?
yeah, and I think part of it, every time I got ill, and I've had periods of illness in my life, and I had a car accident and was disabled for about 9 years. Every time I got ill, I got fat. I'd lose the weight by dieting, and I wouldn't be able to keep it off, and then I'd get ill again, and the weight would go back on. And I really got to the biggest. I think I was about 19 stone when I started Slim Pod. I'm only 5'2", so it's quite big. Uh, and and because I got this illness and in and out of hospital and things, I didn't think I was ever going to get better. It was always going to be with me. I'd been ill for ages and things, and I didn't honestly believe I could get better, and I just was not worth being here anymore. It didn't matter. I've got no reason to try because it was never going to get better. So I would stuff food down my face because it wasn't worth not stuffing food down my face.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I can get that. Bless you, honestly. And at that time, um, did you think that um, change was even possible?
No, not at all. No, because I couldn't do things. I couldn't go for a walk. You have to have exercise to lose weight, and I couldn't do anything. I couldn't walk. So there was no point even trying. I was never going to get better because I couldn't do anything. Everything hurt. I couldn't do anything. So I just really was. I don't. I was at the end, and there was no point. Unfortunately, that's how I felt. Anyway, it was just I was at. It's just not worth bothering anymore because I wasn't going to get better, and nothing was going to change.
Yeah, I can, I can, I see that. I see that an awful lot. I've seen that in the last 15 years. I just want to point out to everybody watching that and listening that we will have a Q&A right at the end. The last probably 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And so, yes, you will be able to ask Jane questions. Just wanted to throw that out there because I didn't mention it at the start. Normally I do. So the turning point, I mean, were you looking to change something? How did you come across us?
Facebook. And
Right.
the funniest thing was, I kept trying to diet and not eat, and I think,
I like
yeah.
that. Try. I kept on trying to diet and not eat.
Yeah, it doesn't actually. I mean, it's just stupid when you think about it because I eat really well now. But I kept trying to not eat, And it get like, and I'd always say I start Monday, something would happen, I'd get upset, I'd go to the hospital or go to the doctors, and I'd get upset, or I would argue with somebody or something or other, and I would go back to punish myself for food, and it'd always be I'd start again Monday, and then by the Wednesday something would happen, and I'd literally I just said it wasn't worth it, and probably about a month after doing that, and just completely like just carry on, no more Mondays. You appeared on Facebook feed, and you're the only thing I've ever bought off a Facebook feed.
That's amazing.
I thought, you can't scam me. There's no money in my bank account. You can only have what I've got there. Did
The
you hear
things
some
in it.
horror stories about Facebook?
I do see that so often about scamming and all the rest of it. And, if people just looked at Trustpilot and all over the place, they can see we're not a scam. It's been going for 15 years. Anyway, not to worry.
I never looked at anything. I just thought, that looks different. I am going to do it. And now I just say Slim Pod. If anybody's watched it, I
So
tell
you
people
you were
about it.
you were really skeptical at first
Yeah.
because you were, where you were, which was in such a bad place, and being stuck, and actually I've just seen a question which I'm going to deal with now because it's so relevant. The question says, how did you get unstuck? Well, you found Slim Pod and that unstuck you, I think.
Mm. Started to listen to Simpod and everything changed. I was just listening to the pods, and within a few days, it wasn't straight away, but I do have I think some Scottish or sort of that. Sorry, no Scottish principle, but I do have a thing. If you pay for it, you're not going to waste your money. But that didn't work before because I used to do the Slimming World, and that didn't help either. So, but no, I thought after a few days, I thought I'm going to do it. If I'm going to do this, I've got to put the effort in. So, as much as I love the pods, I'm going to use your analogy. I am the captain of my own ship. And I suddenly thought that, or something very similar, about a week or two after hearing Slim Pod. I thought, I am in charge of me. But I didn't feel like that before.
Right.
And Slim Pod did that for me. I'm in control. I can do me. It's a choice I'm making. And I made the choice to sort of start making changes. And haven't looked back since.
Amazing. And actually, as we'll go into, you've kind of taken that to a new level, on the whole making changes, and we will go into that in a minute because it's not just the Slim Pod, as much as as much credit as we'll give that. You have done so much, so you've taken it to a different level, which is why I love you, because you've just got the tool and you are absolutely embracing it and making the most of it, and that's why you're in my book. So you just explain a little bit then about the mindset shift from where you were to the subconscious change then that happened, because you've told me that changes started little by little.
Mm.
Just explain a little bit about that.
I started when you got a lot. The videos I found really helpful. Although I'm a very intelligent person, got a master's degree, I know how to eat, so I should be doing it. But when watching your videos, I decided I was going to follow what you said, and I actually said that there was a comment somebody made a very long time ago on Slim Pod, that they were on about not having avocado, and I said, well, whatever Sandra says, I do. So if Sandra says we need to eat avocado, spinach, and broccoli, I'm going to eat avocado, spinach, and broccoli. And that person said I wasn't doing Slim Pod right, but I'm not sure that's right. But no, whatever you said in those videos, I thought because you've got to, you know, eat less, move more, choose better. How do I choose better? Was what I looked into.
Right. That's interesting.
I knew I needed to move more, eat less. That was simple. But how do I choose better? And
That's,
that's what got me into all the research
yeah,
I needed to do. And I think, sort of, it's week 5 when Dale Pinnick comes into it, isn't it? And where it's really got me thinking about the ultra processed food,
yeah,
and that's at that point it really got me
yeah,
because I could see, and it's sort of like eating non-processed food wasn't putting rubbish in my body, and that's because I've got an autoimmune illness.
yeah.
That's everything I've read so far says that's made worse by ultra processed food. We don't know what's in it.
No. So basically, week 5, and this is, folks, this is the bit now that is quite extraordinary and the life-changing bit, to be honest. I mean, all of it has been life-changing over the last 2 years, but this is the bit where if anybody has heard me talking about growth mindset and the whole Carol Dweck thing, there is a video about that in the program. Then Jane is absolutely the master of her own life, without a doubt, on the food side. So uh, you watched the videos and your interest was starting to be, you started to think, what did you get a master's in, by the way?
Well, economics, it's nothing to do with study at man at work. I've been down coal mines. I've been loads of coal mines. But yeah, but I was, I class myself as a really intelligent, a clever person. I've got the brain. I just didn't use it
Yeah, well, you weren't using it on on the food front
on the food
until
front. No.
until you then started really investigating the whole ultra processed food side of things. You started looking into how what food to eat to actually help the illnesses that you had. And you started eating plant-based foods, didn't you?
Mm, yeah.
And this is really where the whole health thing is just, honestly, you have healed yourself of all of those things, that all of those illnesses, you have healed yourself.
Mm.
So explain to people, because this is also about becoming unstuck, when you actually can see a route forward, and week 5 was your route forward.
Yeah, just because it was to choose better. How do you choose better? Because we had the conversation before. Because being Weight Watchers in the Slimming World, choosing better meant you could have a packet of crisps, a chocolate bar with their logo on it, and that was choosing better. But that isn't choosing better because all the way through there, for years and years, I was pre-diabetic and then diabetic. Uh, so it wasn't choosing better, but you believed at the time, oh, I can have one of those at so many sins or so many points. I can have that, but it's the chemicals it puts in your body that was making me ill. So I couldn't get better.
Yeah.
Even to the fact like I had sweeteners instead of sugar. But reading that's actually just as bad for diabetes as it is not, having sugar. So
Yeah.
I could have had 1 spoon of sugar rather than 5 sweeteners, and I wouldn't put the chemicals in my body from this, from the sweeteners, because the chemicals from the sweeteners are probably a lot worse than the sugar.
So how did it start? Because you were there in week 5. How did it start? What did you start doing? Because you started cooking, didn't you? Because now you are
Mm.
a crazy cook.
Yes, made moussaka today. We've had moussaka tonight. Absolutely gorgeous, cooked from scratch. And exactly what I mean. Talking about the plant food, I buy the portion of uh, lamb mince that I would have made one meal for two. I now make 6 meals because I put so much vegetables in it. It's
Oh
just
my
full of
God.
veg, so it saves me money as well because the food is just full of veg. I do put some mince in it because I think my husband would kill me if it hadn't got mince in it. But yeah, it's. I don't use as much meat. I use a lot less meat. I still do eat meat. Still do eat red meat, and I know that some people think that's not so good for you, but I do like red meat, so I do eat red meat. But yeah, portion sizes have reduced significantly as well. But what I put in it is, just bulk it out with so many vegetables. I have eaten 10 veg rather than eating 2 veg now.
Um,
because
and so you were this whole thing fascinates me, as you probably gathered, everybody. It just does. It's just wonderful. Um, the I mean that you didn't start putting 10 vegetables in. How was that? How was that process? You started Googling, didn't you?
yeah, I googled loads. What could do this for blood pressure? What could do this? IBS. But then IBS is a weird one because I'm not supposed to be able to have fibre and stuff, but I have so much fibre it's untrue. But the IBS is virtually gone. Uh, you know, and I don't just I honestly believe it's because I don't have the rubbish. I
Yeah.
do I do eat. Oh, I'm going to say before I change that word. I don't have ultra processed food. I only have most of the time. I only have things I can find in my cupboard, and I can buy myself in a shop. I don't have uh, the chemicals, because for a long I used to think I was gluten intolerant and things and lactose intolerant, and our body's not designed to drink cow's milk. Years ago, we didn't drink cow's milk. Drinking cow's milk was quite a modern phenomenon. And our body's not designed for the lactose in cow's milk. So I knew that, sort of like thinking of, coming off the cow's milk and things. And our body isn't designed to have the chemicals that we now put into it. And that I think that is why I've suffered so much, and I'm trying to get my gut health better and things. So,
You were on steroids big time as well, weren't you?
mm, yes, yeah, a
What's
lot.
happened with the steroids? You off them
They
or?
have they've come off now.
Yeah.
I think I'm slightly worse health wise, but it's not affecting me.
Right.
I'm not giving up to it. I It's a choice. you know. So, but yeah, I'm off the steroids, but I do take immune suppressant, which I wished I didn't. Uh, but that'd be a long time, I think, because it's hard to come off them once you're on them.
Yeah, but
Uh,
I mean, this is only 2 years. You were
mhm.
so long on this, you were so long being ill, and this is only 2 years, and it's just quite extraordinary. So you've kind of gone from eating Victoria sponges in the car park,
Yeah,
to now eating 60 plants a day, in 2 years.
a
It's
week,
quite extraordinary.
a week,
A week,
a week. I'm
not
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 that good.
not a day. I'm
The
glad I'm
halo's
glad you
the
corrected me
halo's
on
not
that.
so good.
Because a day would be a bit mad. So
Perhaps
a week,
20 a
yeah,
day or something like that. I could get. But yes, I mean, but they do include different nuts. Like I can't tell you what everything does because I eat what I eat now, and it's all gone. But I'll put like macadamia nuts, pecan, walnuts, Brazil nuts, and things. Only like a little bit of each because having too much wouldn't be good for you anyway. But
Jane is frozen. Sorry to. Let's hope that she unfreezes.
I'm here. I'm back.
Okay,
I
brilliant.
don't know what happened.
We've got a frozen one, and I
It
was
just
starting to panic then.
no.
Um,
I've
but,
got back
thank
on.
goodness, thank goodness you're here again.
Yeah,
Amazing, got you back.
yeah.
Brilliant.
So
Phew, that was
yeah.
that was a moment of my heart stopped.
So I don't I limit things like bacon, and I used to have a bacon sandwich every morning, and now I probably eat bacon once a month, and things. I try and eat most of the time. I use like the Nova scale because from I read about in ultra processed people. And I was already doing it before I read the book. Reading the book has been quite a recent thing. I've sort of said, uh, but I try and stick to mainly ones which like fresh fruit and veg, and you know, and then sort of things like it goes down the scales, and things like condiments and cheese and things are three. So I try and sort of keep to the one, two, and three section. Don't go into the last section virtually at all. But if I go out, I will. I'll eat what I want and don't worry about it. But
Great, 'cause that's your new life now, isn't it? Because
mm,
the thing is, the thing that I love you for, you say the biggest thing that you've gained isn't weight loss, it's control. And so what does that mean to you? What does control mean to you?
well, I'm so much more confident now. I'm doing this. I'm on here talking about everything. I don't know how many people are here, but I'm on here
Quite a
talking
few.
about this in front of everybody. And this is good. I don't mean, but I saw I didn't realise, I must have missed the memo about the pod. I didn't realise, and when people were saying there's some pods and podcast, I clicked on the button and realised I was there. and then I watched it. Didn't like my voice. My voice is horrible when you hear your voice come the other way. Didn't like my voice, but didn't bother me. And then I was talking about going to the toilet, and I thought, if this helps people, I don't mind. And I didn't mind at all. But I think 2 years ago, I would have hid in a dark corner and thought, oh my, I can't face the world. But it doesn't. But and I'm really happy to have done it and have it there, because if I can get one person who is anything like I was, thinking about not eating processed food because it's not doesn't help their illnesses. Because some people don't have the same illnesses, and I don't think it bothers everybody.
No.
Some people's bodies may put up with it,
Yeah.
but my body's always been full of allergies and
Right.
things. So some people may get away and not be ill because of eating processed food.
Yeah.
But that's how I felt, when I saw the pod. But I wouldn't have been able to do that. So my biggest one is confidence, because I can deal with anything now, and it's everything's a choice.
Yeah.
If I have a choice what I do, and I didn't have a choice. It's that that statement in the sugar pod. If you can do this, you can do anything.
Yeah.
Is my That's what.
Your mantra.
Yes, that's me. I can do whatever I can. If I can drink my tea without 5 sweeteners, and I can do anything.
That's amazing. So for
Mm.
those watching right now who are feeling that they're kind of stuck and they'll never, get to where they want to be, what would you say to them?
Uh, you can, because I've said to you before that I thought I couldn't cook. I hadn't got time. I've got a busy life as well as being ill, so I didn't have time to cook. Didn't have time to exercise. Wasn't able to exercise because I was too ill to exercise. Hurt too much. And then finally, Slim Pod, I walked up and down the road. That was too much, but I did it. And then a few weeks later, well, 18 months later, I ran 5K. I can't at the minute run 5K, but I will be running 5K again. But I go out for a walk each day and do what I can. Uh, but you just put one foot in front of the other. Go to slightly more than is comfortable. That's how I've done it. Just slightly more than comfortable. And like I said, I can cook. I want to cook, and there's so many people with busy lives, but I found time in my busy life. I have to reorganize my life, and I'm really lucky that I'm self-employed, so I give myself time to cook the meal and then maybe go back out to work and then come home and eat the meal. So that does it works better for me. But I found time and things
Yeah.
to do it. I never, I kept saying I can't do it, can't do it. Putting all the
Yeah,
excuses.
it is about putting yourself, fairly to the top of your to-do list, to be honest, because it's hugely important. And so yeah, I mean, you were in that place that you never thought you would get out of. And by week 5, you were taking back control, which is incidentally part of the title of my book. Funny that.
Mm. And I've got to just, I know I'm probably waffling on and going out of all order, but one of the biggest things of my change is to make myself happy. Yes, because you can do it on purpose. You can, if I'm feeling miserable, I can make things happen that I know I will enjoy rather than just carry on being miserable. So I might phone somebody. I started doing voluntary work, not because I want to do voluntary work, because it makes me feel good. And it may not be the right reason to do voluntary work, but
No,
I
but it
feel
is.
good
It's
doing
it's
it.
the it's the reward you get from it.
Mm. But it makes you feel. So I started doing things that I know make me feel better, which is really, it sounds really stupid, but
It absolutely doesn't. I mean, that is all part of reframing. That's all part of how to cultivate a positive mindset and how to see what's possible and how to get unstuck and get into a different place and not have food on your mind the whole time because so many people talk about the food noise. I was being interviewed by a newspaper today, and we were talking about food noise, and that's what the feature is going to be about. And the incidentally, it was about weight loss jabs because all the media is obsessed with weight loss jabs. And it was this article is specifically for people um, who are going to be coming off them, and they need to have something that's going to take away the fear of putting the weight back on, and help them to maintain it. So she wanted to talk to me about my book. And there's so much in the book for people at all stages of everything, whether you're on the Slim Pod program and you're on different parts of the journey, whether you have never heard of Slim Pod and you want to do something different, whether you've actually been on a diet, you've lost weight, whether you've been on jabs and lost weight, all of those things. And so but you are one of these people in the book who are there because you are an inspiration. and you have been the master of your own life now. You've gone from where you were to now just this amazing, you know, amazing force of nature.
Thank you. I'm gonna.
Um, so if anybody has any questions, then um, please do ask them right now because I will ask Jane anything you want me to within reason. But it is as I was saying about your journey. The, the stages. I've spoken to you a few times in your journey. I would see you posting things in Slim Pod Club because I'm always in there spying on people, uh, and um, and I saw you in there and how that was all going. I thought, my word, this is just extraordinary. And different people change in different ways. That's the beauty of this program. Everybody has an individual experience, and not everybody needs to go on plant food. Just want to tell you that you don't have to be eating 60 plant foods a week. You don't. You could just do 20. um, but so what?
It began a competition. Became a competition to how many I could eat different things, and
That's amazing. Now there is a question here. Did you find you didn't really realize all you were ingesting when you were eating, all the food that you were kind of secretly or whatever? Because this lady's saying, or this person, I don't know if it's a lady because the name isn't there, so apologies. I would go into a daze and hoover a whole packet of biscuits. Were you in a trance state when you were doing that?
sometimes yes, but sometimes no, because I was doing it on purpose. Sometimes, if there's a pack of biscuits or something next to me, they would all be gone, and I wouldn't realise they were all gone. But if there was nothing next to me, I know I shouldn't be having anything because I would have already had like God knows what. But I would still go and get it because I wanted more. If that makes sense. So I knew a lot most of the time. I knew I was doing it. I knew it was on my third attempt at this, my third trip to the shop, and I'd had fish and chips that day, but I was going to have a McDonald's.
Yes, indeed. So, did you have, in your Slim Pod journey, have you had any setbacks? And if you did, how did you get past them?
I've not seen the misstep setbacks because it's just a process. I have probably haven't lost any weight over the winter, and I may have put a little bit on, but it's a process, and I'm not doing what I used to do. I haven't gone to the shop and bought chocolate. I have to say I've gone to the shop to buy chocolate twice. Walked out without buying chocolate. I actually walked out with anything. They probably think I'm shoplifting. But it's a process, isn't it, for me? It's not always going to be easy. I broke a rib, as we know, in November and couldn't exercise, and then I had a bad asthma bout and colds and things, so didn't exercise for a bit, and my win out of that is I didn't go back to normal. I didn't go back to normal. When I broke my rib, it wasn't going to be. I knew it wasn't going to be ending, and I haven't properly exercised for about 3 months, and don't mind. I'm now itching to exercise, and I've been out every day for a walk because I'm feeling much better in myself. And itching to get going. I only walk. I don't do what you do in the gym. I was like, what? I watched a video on Instagram the other day, and I'm like, what?
I know. It does become a little bit. I don't want to use the word addictive because I'm not addicted to it. But she's talking about a weight training thing.
Mm.
But I was so ill as well. You know, I had pneumonia and couldn't do it. And then when I got back to it, I thought, right, here goes. It
Yeah.
was, it was this, "Oh, I need to be strong again." And it was because I felt so weak and so lacking in energy for so long. This was this thing, what you saw was was for me more of a mental achievement rather than the weights. So yes, it was yes, I did it. And that was
My going for a walk and getting up because I've struggled to get out of bed in the dark and things. So mine was like that on Monday when I'm going and I'm going to get up and that is going to be it.
it does. It's the feeling that you get where you would probably have once got that from a Victoria sandwich.
Yes. And it's a thought, and I tell myself, I may not want to get up and I may not want to go, but I will feel better. And I do. And I come in that door, I'm just by my front door at the minute. I come in the door and I feel good. I knew that I would. I do it every time. It's my little walk through the door.
Is that,
I'm
that's
saying like
your,
a right.
is that your happy dance?
Yeah. When I come in through the door, I feel good.
That's fantastic. So
I don't believe I say these things sometimes.
I love that. Love that. I could just see you doing it as well.
Yeah, feel
Um,
good.
so there's another question. Have you ever struggled with motivation during the 2 years? So this person says, "I'm sorry, because it doesn't have a name, and so therefore I'm just calling you a person. You know, I can't. I hate not calling people by their names. So have you ever struggled with motivation?" She says, or he says, "I'm following the program to the letter, and very similar to you, how I've researched food, made so many healthy changes." But sustained a little plateau of 6 months now and feel a bit unmotivated, seeing no change. You see, that's what happens to people. Feel a little bit unmotivated, but it's the body's way of relaxing, just catching up. I think that's what all the research says anyway. But you answer that. You're the one who needs to answer this question, not me.
I I can have a day where I go out and it's not a diet, it's a way of life. So I can go out in a day, have a cocktail or two, have a little bit of a lunch out with my friends, whatever. Go out with my husband, but that next day, I don't look at it like I'm not trying to achieve. I'm not trying to achieve that. I'm not on a diet. I've got past the wanting to do that every day, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I can do the things, but the next day, I even though like I say, I've put weight on it. I know I put weight on in the winter. My clothes are a little bit tighter. I don't know how much weight, but I'm still getting into a size 16s. I'm happy with that, But in the summer, when I want to move more and things, and that it'll, I know it'll come off. It's not about weight.
Yeah, so what you're saying is, the motivation will kick in again,
Mm,
at some point. You're just giving yourself a break, not beating yourself up
I
about it.
don't know. It's just a way of life. I eat non-processed food, and I eat smaller portions, and I move more. In the summer, I move a lot more, uh, and I find it hard because in the summer I don't want to eat or fast, and this happened like over the couple of years. In the winter, I just don't want to fast. I want a breakfast and lunch and a dinner. But I don't think I've lost mo. It's not. I'm not trying. Don't need motivating. If you see, if you see what I mean, because I'm not trying.
Yeah,
It's not. It's just a way of life.
way of life. Yeah.
So
When you just mentioned fasting, that's a kind of like we've spoken about that in the past. It's you're kind of you're like me, a natural intermittent faster, aren't you?
mm,
Mm.
not so much in the winter, but I've come this nice sunshine. I haven't wanted to eat.
Right.
It's just happens. I'm
Yeah.
not hungry, and I've realised, but if I am hungry, I will eat. But yes, and I do use fasting because it everything you read about fasting. And I'll skip breakfast. I have dinner, and sometimes I will do 24 hours, or and other times I'll just skip breakfast and do lunch. But it's
Right.
eating when I'm hungry. But
Yeah.
I also did last year use it as a way of looking at sort of protecting my, you know, having good bacteria. It's supposed to be good for you if you do certain things. I can't explain it. I know I've read it, and and I'm not advising anybody else to do it. But I like, sometimes I've got as long as 36 hours because I wanted to try it, and it wasn't any hardship,
Right.
and
Interesting.
that it was just I drank water and everything was fine. I wanted to try it, but so I use fasting
So you
sort
do
of,
various bits and pieces.
yeah, bits and pieces of it.
Nobody is saying Jane, just before there's mayhem, nobody is saying that Jane isn't saying people should do that. She's just saying
No,
it makes her feel good and
yeah,
she does this for her. So
yes.
just so you know, she's not
Mm-hmm.
recommending everybody goes and
No.
does that.
And I don't do it over the winter either because I choose not, But it's in the summer. I've already I just don't feel like eating.
Yeah,
As
fine.
soon as the weather improves, I don't feel like eating.
And that's the
But
way you are.
that's the way I am, and
Yeah,
that. So I
great.
don't, you know,
And did you have any plateau periods? I suppose it's a kind of another part of that question, really, or a different question, but it's a similar topic. If you did have any plateaus, if so, how did you move on from that? Now, you've kind of said it's a way of life, so you don't see them as plateaus, do you?
no,
No,
no. I'm not trying to lose weight anymore. I
right.
will lose weight if that
Yeah,
makes sense because I eat healthily.
yeah. So
Yeah,
you know it's inevitable, but
yeah.
you're just not
I'm not.
trying.
Yeah, it's my mindset around food is completely different. I don't have an issue with my weight anymore. I quite like the way I look, and I look at myself, and I'll go into Tesco's and and see myself in the reflection, and I think, oh, you look all right. But before, I wouldn't have wanted to look at that reflection. I'm happy with how I am, but I do, you know, ideally, I've got another couple of stone to lose. But over the summer, when I'm happy and going out for 10-mile walks and things, I shall. It won't be a problem. I should just
Yeah,
do it. And
great.
but I, do, like I say, I've put weight on over the winter. I know I have. I don't know how much, but I'm still in the size 16. Still happy with how I look, but I'm not trying to. Uh,
Yeah,
I'm not on a diet.
sure. Exactly that.
Just eating very healthily.
Amazing. There's another question. Did you stop drinking cow's milk? And if so, what are you drinking instead now in tea or coffee, etc.?
Believe it or not, I've gone back onto cow's milk
Right.
since Slim Pod. I, I know. And the funniest thing is, for since I'm now 57, but since the age of 5, because my mum joined Weight Watchers when I was 5, I have drank skimmed milk. And for the past 6 months, I have drank full fat milk when I have full fat when I have milk at all. It's bizarre. I now eat full fat food and my cholesterol stayed low.
Isn't that fascinating?
It is really, yeah. I don't drink too much milk
Mm,
because I've got eczema and asthma and things, and dairy's not supposed to be too good for things like that. But if I have a bit of milk in my tea, it's full fat milk now. But I just used to not drink tea and coffee to stay off the milk and didn't have milk. I didn't like alternatives because, and now most of the alternatives, if you have oat milk and things, they've got so many additives in.
right.
I can't see an alternative milk that doesn't full of additives.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Unless you make your own, I think you can make your own, but that's a faff.
What, have a goat in the garden or something?
No, you can make cashew milk, can't you? Nut milk and stuff. You
Okay.
can whiz it up. I've seen it on tally, but I'm
I
not
thought
doing
I
it
thought you were going
myself.
to have a goat in the garden or something.
No. But yeah,
Gosh.
lots of. I have looked at alternative milks, but I can't find one that is not full of additives. So I went back to drinking milk.
Right, interesting. So another question, would you recommend joining Slim Pod Extra after the 12 weeks? Wow, that's an interesting one. You are on Slim Pod Extra,
I
aren't
have. I'm on VIP now because
you? Yes, you are.
yeah, I'm on the VIP section now because I've gone
So
through
why
Slim.
why did you join Slim Pod Extra after 12 weeks then?
I wanted more information,
Right.
and I think that's doing all the exercises and helped me put my brain
Yeah.
further right because the weight was done, but yeah, I did the wheel and
Yeah, no, you mastered your own.
yeah, but it's have dealt with how yes, definitely join extra, would fully join extra and and carry on with it and that my only wish you've got your here now. Please keep sending the mornings quotes, even though even though I've gone through extra because I
Okay.
was bereft
Ah, bless
without
you.
right
All
quote.
right. I will that we'll get on to that. And probably the last question of the day, unless there's maybe one more, we can fit in one more after this. Um, what have other people, how have other people reacted to your weight loss?
Positively, but I don't. Uh, People close to me, I ask not to because it's become. I used to be really proud of my weight loss, but it's. I've realised that lots of people. My friend who's quite skinny pointed out that she didn't like her body anyway, and then people, you know what I mean, and weight shouldn't matter.
No,
And
I
I've
don't talk about it as much. I don't talk about it anywhere when I'm out because,
mm,
what do you do? I'm an accountant.
yeah. and yeah, and I've asked people close to me that, and I've just explained that I don't really want discuss it. I One thing I do like is going to see my dad, who's in a care home because he's got dementia, and he doesn't tell me how ugly and fat I am anymore. He
Goodness.
doesn't know what he said, but he'd always go on about dieting and how I shouldn't, how I look a mess. And sometimes he didn't even realise that it was me, and he'd go, "Look at her there, how fat that cow is there," because he doesn't actually understand. But he can't. He doesn't do that anymore, and that has made a huge difference to go and see my dad.
Oh, bless.
But yes,
Okay. Oh,
yeah,
God.
he wouldn't. He doesn't understand. He doesn't know, and I knew that. But he would always go on. If he did know it was me, it was out of concern because he's like, "You can't go on like this." But then, if I took him, I used to take him cake, and if I took cake, he'd just say, "You can't have that. You're too fat. Have that." And it would just upset him if we went in with two cakes. So I didn't take cake, but he would have always mentioned how fat I was whenever I went to see him. But he doesn't now. So that was a great
Oh,
thing.
wow. So, last question. Um, and sorry, you can still hear that I've got this flaming cough. Um, um, so the question is, how much weight did you lose? Now, we said that at the beginning, but there were people just coming in. Can you just give another little, for anybody who missed it at the beginning? Quite clearly, this person did. Um, a synopsis of where you were before and where you are now.
Size 24 before, about 19 stone. I'm only 5'2". So now I don't know how heavy I am. I think I'm in the 12s. Uh, Maybe it's just nudging the 13th, but I have no idea. Uh, but I am a size 16s. I wear size 16s.
The last time you were weighed, it was about 6 stone off, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And your health, you had blood pressure issues, you were diabetic, you had. fatty
fatty liver, IBS. I've got every allergy known to man, but the IBS is virtually gone. Well, I think it has gone. IBS is gone. Fatty liver's gone. I don't have a fatty liver anymore. I don't have diabetes anymore. I do have blood pressure pills, but not as much. And I'm so much healthier. And, I think my arthritis has improved, but over the winter it's got a bit dodgy. And I used to think that was a fallacy, but it does get worse in the winter because I'm so healthy now and I notice a difference in the winter, feeling a bit stiffer. But yeah, lots of improved migraines. I don't quite remember the last time I had a proper migraine. And I used to have those regularly, so yeah, lots of improvements. Just
It's
how
amazing. And honestly, the only thing you have done is listen to the pods, being on the program, and changed your food dramatically.
eat
And that,
less, move more, make better choices.
yeah, but it has been getting rid of the ultra processed food and being a master of your choices, and you doing the research as to you know, what food helps with this and that and the other, that has been the game changer.
Yeah, sort of look at it inflammatory diet, but realise I'm actually probably eating an inflammatory diet anyway. I was like trying to read the inflammatory diet books and things to sort of see if I could do some more to help sort of get me off the autoimmune tablet. But it looks like I'm already there anyway. so yeah,
Wow,
but yeah, if anybody's listening who has got similar health problems, don't take, just don't have ultra processed food.
yeah. It's honestly, I think so many health problems. You've talked about so many things. Even arthritis has improved, hasn't it?
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah, I have. I think they used to call it atopic or something. I'm full of allergies. I have my immune system is not being good. I'm always full of allergies and things. So I have the whole gambit, eczema, asthma, and everything has improved.
amazing,
You know,
amazing.
all the allergy stuff's improved
We,
as well.
we, we, we've got so many people though who had arthritis and could hardly move, and now are running, couch to 5K.
Mm.
Used to be in mobility scooters, no longer running upstairs and like lovely Lynn Fox, who was going to move house because she couldn't get up the stairs, and now she
Mm.
hasn't done that at all, and she's loving her
Yeah, I
senior.
used to crawl up my stairs, and now I can run up my stairs.
Amazing. Anyway, look, we've been here for an hour. I've loved every second of it, like I always do on these. And Jane, you're just so inspirational. Just such a great. You earn your place in my book. Let's put it that
Thank
way.
you. But can I also just say, during it, I've seen lots of messages go up, and I haven't been able to look at them or anything, and I know they're going to disappear, and I just want to thank everybody for everybody's kind words because I haven't been able to do anything about it.
I've only seen the messages that are coming in the chat box, but you might see some on Facebook if we were streamed to Facebook, so you may be able to go on there and answer a few. It might be on there. But anyway, thank you everybody. Time up. Thank you so much, Jane. You, as
Thank
ever.
you, Sandra, for some part. I mean, you have to say that. I'm going to say it because it's your enthusiasm. You are there, and I don't mean to be funny. You probably don't ever need to be working at 9 o'clock at night. You could retire, and there you are because you're the inspirational one because you do this for us. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Everybody makes me cry.